So the physical workouts, of course, there is a time factor, and your voice does need exercise. Lowering, of course, these vocal cords in the movement of the bel canto technology is very much like doing the splits. I always tell the story. One of my first students was a rock singer who he was just absolutely hoarse after his concert, and but he had learned to do the splits, and it took him, he told me, it took him 2 years. He practiced every day, and then in 2 years, one day, he was down. So here was somebody who really knew what practice meant, and I have to say, he worked so well in technique that at the end of 1 month or 6 weeks of working with me 3 times a week, his concerts he was no longer hoarse after his concert. So he learned really how to keep a healthy voice because of this, again, displacement from all of this air going out that he learned how to master. So, but these things need time, and the diaphragmic pedestal, these are the lower body strength is very important, so that when the diaphragm is open, it's sitting on something solid. If there's nothing solid when you open the diaphragm, it'll waver, it'll be even more effort. So the lower body is very important. Of course, Caruso is one of the great voices of the bel canto world, and this is just a quote from him about the importance of proper care and exercise for the voice, and that it's just as necessary to exercise the voice as the normal maintenance of good health in the individual. So I love his eyes. In lowering the vocal cords, okay, we want to have a very energetic yawn. There's 2 kinds of yawns. There's the yawn that's just like, oh my God, I'm going to go to sleep. And then there's the energetic yawn that just opens the throat. Okay. Now, what you need to do though is stay where you yawn, not let go of it and pop back up. Okay. So the tongue is a very important element in controlling the opening and the lowering of the vocal cords, because the tongue, the bottom of the tongue, is attached to the vocal cords. So where the tongue ends, the vocal cords are. And the more it stretches down, the more it helps lower, and the more you can keep that tongue pressure supple but firm, you can maintain the voice down towards your true vocal fingerprint color. And as you can see in this image, we have the back of the throat. There is this arch, and you don't want to make it all straight and like that, but you want to supple up through certain exercises the opening of the back of the throat, okay? Because the throat needs to open inside so that the vocal cords can go down, and also it gives a beautiful hollow for the vibration of sound. And the more all of this opening takes place and isn't densified by energy, the more the resonance and the voice is free. Laying down of the tongue is very important. You don't want to see the tongue. Okay, the tongue in speech and in singing should not be seen, according to the bel canto. This is from the interview on France Culture, where he's talking about the fact that the tongue is really like the rudder, on a boat, and it guides the voice box, and how it stretches in a concave fashion with the yawn, and the more it guides the vocal instrument to the lower throat, it needs to hold it there, and it needs not to feel thick but supple, and it's the under part of the tongue that does the stretching. Okay, the top of the tongue should be relaxed and supple and firm, but the firmness is underneath there. And so you want to do everything with a very firm gracefulness, and just with the tip there under the lower teeth. Why exercise? Well, of course, developing the diaphragm's muscular strength confirming the whole body's participation and the stretching and deepening of the inner throat's opening while maintaining the stability of the vocal cords when attacking sound is the purpose of these workouts. Okay, so you have to do it over and over and over again. I'm reminded of one of our classes where there is a term, the kata, when you're doing martial arts, and if you see these great martial artists that can just, the leg just goes out and kicks something, and wow, you think, wow, that looks so easy, but they probably did that maybe 10,000 times before they got that mastered. So exercise is really key for all mastery. These are just an image, a couple of images of something that can help you when you wake up in the morning, just, to really be lifting up and lifting, opening and opening and opening and opening and opening against all these tensions, and help you hold them open. This is just, okay, this looks very non-energy, but when somebody is really, the lower body is in firm holding position there, and the person is talking and doing whatever, it does cost calories. So it can look like nothing's going on. I think mentioned in the book, the opera singer can easily lose 2 to 3 kilos in one opera in one night in energy burn. This is something that many singers do, is they use a belt around the expanded diaphragm, and it helps remind them to go back into that touching of the belt, because if they lose contact, that means their diaphragm is collapsing, that means the air is pushing out. They don't want that. They go back into contact. Okay, so there are exercises that are included to develop it, but these are little things that are helpful tools.